What does it take to write an ad, headline, or subject line that's impossible to ignore? Well, come along with me as I take you through one of my favorite copywriting exercises ever. I'm gonna let you look over my shoulder as I critique this copy from And Frankly, along with 6 other variations submitted by the Posse community. What made them great, what left me wanting more, and what could make these even more powerful? Keep watching. Hey Posse, what's up? It's Alex. If you're following me on Instagram at CopyPosse, then you've probably seen my regular Make It Hotter posts where I find an ad, a headline, or a subject line and put it out to you, the Posse community, to, yep, you guessed it, make it even hotter. Now, not only is this one of my favorite ways to practice copywriting, but it's a great way to see how other copywriters think, which ultimately helps you better understand why certain things work and why certain things don't. And the best part of this exercise for me is when I get to put on my Posse Prof spectacles and critique the top voted submissions. So in today's video, I'm gonna take you through one of my latest editions of Make It Hotter and break down my critiques of each ad point by point. So let's get started. First, take a look at this post where I asked the Posse community to make this ad even hotter. So this ad is for And Frankly, a tool that helps organizations understand their employees, keep them engaged, and drive everyone towards better performance. Now, here is their original ad copy. Did you know only 15% of employees are engaged at work? Be the manager that raises the bar with And Frankly. Learn more. Okay. Not bad, but I gotta admit, I kinda like the Possified versions just a little bit better. But before I get to my critiques of those submissions, first, let's critique this ad by And Frankly. What worked, what was lacking, and what do I think could have been done a little bit better? Now, the first thing that I notice is how short the copy is. The whole thing is just 2 sentences. Now, short copy can work really, really well, but when it's this short, that actually makes your job as a copywriter a lot harder because you have to pack a super powerful punch in just a few number of words, which means every single word needs to count. So here they start off with the hook, did you know only 15% of employees are engaged at work? Now, I actually really like the use of what I call the FYI hook, telling people, hey, did you know? They're using a statistic that's probably pretty shocking to most managers and business owners or anyone else who runs a team, which means they're immediately capturing the attention of their target audience, which is awesome. But remember, every word really needs to count here. So I would actually eliminate the did you know at the beginning and just go straight into the stats. Only 15% of employees are engaged at work. Or even better, only 15% of your employees are engaged at work. Because remember, when you are leading with a question like this, most people want some sort of explanation or more details to follow it up. So this is a great hook, but if they want to lead with this question, then maybe I would do that in the description copy that accompanies this ad, where they have more room to elaborate a little bit more and draw the reader in even further. Now, the next and final sentence of this ad is be the manager that raises the bar with And Frankly. All right, so I see what they're trying to do here. They're once again calling out their target audience, which of course is managers, but this time very directly by saying be the manager that raises the bar. And they're also playing into the reader's sense of status or ego. They're basically saying, hey, the way your employees act and work is a reflection on you. Other people are judging you based on this metric. So what they're really trying to do is get this manager to take action in order to boost their own self-image or how their bosses or other people perceive them, which is absolutely brilliant. But I think there's a way that this could have been done even better. It's pretty vague on how the manager is going to raise the bar. What does that even mean? Are they going to be an asshole that everyone hates? Are they going to crack down on lunch breaks and monitor screen time? I'm guessing that would have the opposite effect of what the manager actually wants, right? So I would suggest that they replace this sentence with something else that adds more context on how using And Frankly is going to make this manager a superhero that up-levels the workplace and saves the day. Now, of course, not in those exact words, but that feels a lot more motivating, right? All right, and finally, they end with a CTA of learn more, which I think is great, short and crystal clear, nothing wrong with that. So overall, this ad is really, really good, but let's see what the Posse thinks. Before I get to that, here's a quick recap of my 3-step formula for writing a hot headline. And don't worry about taking notes because I have an entire free guide waiting for you at the end of this video that will break down each one of these steps. All right, now a hot headline should first hook attention. So start with a concept or idea that really grabs the reader's attention by either provoking an emotion like fear, joy, controversy, FOMO, nostalgia, or promising a desired result or a clear USP, a unique selling proposition. The second thing you want your headline to do is open a loop. You want to pique curiosity and incentivize your audience to read further. And lastly, you want to target your audience, making it very, very clear exactly who you're speaking to. All right, so with that, let's take a look at the Posse submissions along with my critique of each one. These 6 ads were selected for critique because they received the most amounts of likes or votes from the Posse community. So let's take a look. Okay, so this first ad says, you don't know, but your dream team is already working with you. With and frankly, become the leader who gets the employees engaged to their work and leads the company to the 1% club. Overall, I think you have some really, really strong ideas. I actually really like the emojis that you put in this ad, but just be careful to not overdo it. I like to put emojis at the end of an idea or the end of a sentence, not right in between, because it can kind of get a little bit confusing and people's minds kind of come to a jarring stop when they see an emoji that's meant to replace a word or come smack dab in the middle of a sentence. Also, just be careful with some grammar. There's just a few little grammar edits that I would make for flow. You can see those have been fixed there. Overall, love the hook. I love your dream team is already working with you. What's so great about that is you're saying, hey, your team is amazing. Maybe they just need a little bit of extra support, a little bit of extra help. I think that's a really, really great hook. Now, your last sentence here leads the company to the 1% club. I like that, but can you make it even more specific? Remember, you really want your ad to carry a punch. And what does that benefit really mean? Does it mean boosting profits and productivity? How can you bring a really specific benefit into this ad? And then the last thing I would say is just make sure to add a CTA, right? Click below to learn more. Click below to try it for free, whatever call to action works best for and frankly. Overall, excellent, excellent work. Okay, moving on to the next ad. Is your team asleep at the wheel? Time to wake them up and ignite their passion for a job well done, and frankly can show you how. Overall, really great hook. Asleep at the wheel has a very, very strong connotation. I think that's really powerful. I love how you say ignite their passion. Obviously, I love that word ignite, but I think that's a really awesome, juicy benefit. Don't forget a CTA, just like the last critique. Make sure you're always adding a CTA at the end. Tell people exactly what to do next. And overall, I think you could have made it a little bit more specific when you say show you how. The more specific you can be on what makes and frankly unique and bring in a little bit of that USP. Is there a feature or a benefit that the app provides that really helps managers, and how exactly does it do that? Overall, very, very strong. Good job. Okay, the next ad here is hear that? It's 85% of your workforce quiet quitting. And frankly, oh my gosh, I love how you did that. And frankly, there is much you can do about it. Learn more. So overall, I think that's super, super strong. Hear that? I love that hook to really bring in the reader and pique curiosity. It's 85% of your workforce quiet quitting. I might say quietly quitting because I think that flows a little bit better, and I think it's still super relevant, and everyone knows that is probably very top of mind for a lot of managers right now. And frankly, there is much you can do about it. I would say, and frankly, there's actually a lot you can do about it, or there's actually a lot that you can do too, and maybe you can bring in a more specific benefit there. And then a great CTA, nice and simple. Excellent, excellent work here. Okay, next one. Make your team feel like they truly belong, because only 15% feel they do. Your job is hard enough, let and frankly do the rest. I love the cadence of that ad. Even reading it, it feels really, really well thought out and well written. I love the Benny that you bring up, make your team feel like they truly belong. That is like Maslow's hierarchy, of needs. We all want to feel like we belong, and every manager, of course, wants their team to feel like they belong. So I think that's a really strong Benny. Now, I love the ending, but how could you add a little bit more about the how, right? Similar to the last critique, let and frankly do the rest. Is there something you can add in, short and sweet, that really explains what does and frankly do, and how does it help? A feature, something that this provides managers to make it a little bit more tangible and specific. Also, again, just make sure you add a simple CTA at the very, very end. And then I would love to see a source. Again, this applies to all of the ads, even the original one, because there was no source provided. So this is a critique sort of across the board. Sometimes when you can add in a source, it really adds to the authority. And now I'm not saying you have to link to the source, but to say something like according to, and if it's a really, really reputable source, that can actually help by adding authority to your ad. So according to the labor board of whatever, or according to an article done by Harvard or a study done by Harvard, anything like that could really add credibility. And this goes to any time you're including stats in your copy. Of course, you don't want to have to link out to sources and create, distractions or different calls to action, but if you can bring in the source that in a way that adds authority, it's really, really powerful. Okay, moving on to the next one. Is your workplace a certified ZOZ, zone out zone? Studies show that 85% of employees are not engaged at work. Raise productivity with and frankly. So I love the use of emojis here. Again, just a couple, great use of data. I think studies show also adds authority, even if you're not saying what the exact source is. This is another great way to add authority. I love that you explained the ZOZ. Obviously you made that up, which I think is great. It grabs attention. People go, what's that? Oh, zone out zone. I think that's really, really cute. And I love that. I love the super clear benefit. Raise productivity with and frankly, right? That is what these managers want. You could even say, raise the productivity of your team with and frankly, or raise productivity and profits with and frankly, just to expand on that, Benny, a little bit more. Don't forget a CTA and just a couple teeny tiny little grammar tweaks, but overall really, really strong ad here. All right, and lastly, your employees are feeling left out, 85% of them. Increase your team's productivity and win the Best Manager Award this year with and frankly. I love that ad. Your employees are feeling left out. I think that's a strong pain point. I think you can make it maybe a little bit stronger. Why are they feeling left out, or what's happening because they're feeling left out? Your employees are feeling left out, and as a result, they are not performing or they are not driving results. How does it negatively impact the business owner? Increase your team's productivity and win. Just a couple grammar capitalization issues there. Love the win the Best Manager Award this year. Again, we're really pulling on the reader's sense of status and ego or desire for status, which is a very, very strong hook. So I think that is really, really smart. And of course, just finally adding a call to action at the end. Everyone did such a great job on this exercise. Now, if you want to play along for the next edition of Make It Hotter, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at copyposse. And if you like this video and want to see more in-depth critiques like this one in the future, you know what to do. Make sure to hit subscribe below and don't forget to ring that bell to be notified when my next video goes live. And as I mentioned earlier, do not forget to grab your copy of my free hot headline guide so you can learn exactly how to write headlines and ads and subject lines that grab attention and stops scrollers in their tracks. You can grab that in just a few seconds at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Until then, I'm Alex. Ciao for now. All right, guys, if you enjoyed that video, make sure to check out the next one from me right here. And you can click right here to get a free gift. What does it take to write an ad, a headline, or a subject line that's impossible to ignore? Come along with me as I take you through one of my favorite copywriting exercises ever. I'm gonna let you look over my shoulder as I critique this copy from Remarkable and 6 other variations that were submitted by the Posse community. What made them great, what left me wanting more, and what could make them even more powerful. Keep watching.